Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Chef Val Live. It is Thursday, December 1st. Oh, I'm sorry, December 4th. December 4th, 2025. And I am coming to you from the beautiful state of Michigan. We have snow outside. Yeah, we got snow over the weekend. Well, here it is Thursday already, but we had snow again last night. So everything is white and very beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and leave a comment and say hi. Let me know where you're tuned in from. It's so interesting to see if people from a long ways away are tuned in, or if more people from Michigan are tuned in. How are your holiday plans going? I started decorating. Have you started decorating yet? I got halfway through with decorating my house, and then I had to work all week long cooking for clients. So I'm only halfway done decorating. And then yesterday I went and got my Christmas tree, a beautiful live Christmas tree. And I have not decorated it yet because, again, I've been working. But it smells amazing here in my house. I got a Douglas fir, fresh cut. I go to a Christmas tree farm that's the oldest Christmas tree farm in the state of Michigan, called Aaron's Tree Farm. If you've ever been there, it's in Grass Lake, Michigan. And I have been going there for probably about 20 years. And you go and you get to pick out your own tree and you cut it down so it's fresh. So that really makes a difference. My Christmas tree is usually up for the whole month of December. I just love the Christmas tree. I love the smell of it. I love to decorate it. And it's so much fun. So yeah, I will be decorating it over the weekend, and hopefully my whole house will be back in order, because right now I got half of it done and half of it not done. And you know how that is sometimes, right? And because, we're moving into Christmas and the holidays and everything, I wanted to share with you today one of my favorite Christmas cookies, shortbread. And I have been making this shortbread cookie for a long time. It's one of my favorite. And so I'm going to share the recipe with you. And I also wanted to come on live and talk about my challenge that I have going from now until Christmas. It's my 1,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel challenge. So I am looking to get 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So please, if you have not already, hit the subscribe button. Now, I don't know if you know this, because I guess only people who go on YouTube and create videos and try and make this a business, we can't get any monetary income from our YouTube channel until we have 1,000 subscribers. It's just the way they make it, right? Right now, I have 670. So the last week and everything, I've been getting a few new subscribers. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. And so I'm working towards getting 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. If you have not checked it out yet, please go to Chef Valerie Wilson on YouTube. Well, you could be watching this live on YouTube, or you could be watching it on Facebook. But yes, in YouTube, I'm Chef Valerie Wilson. I have over 220 videos up there already. And I cover a wide range of topics. I have some videos on there that are chopping vegetables. And those videos actually don't have any sound to them. It's just me chopping videos, because some people like that. They think it's like a meditative way, because it's quiet. And I'm just showing you how to chop vegetables, because I've been chopping vegetables since I was 18 years old professionally. Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell you how many years that is, but my first job, actually I got the job when I was 17, but by the age of 18, it was a delicatessen. I was managing the delicatessen, and we were making pizzas and subs and all kinds of things. I've been in the food industry since I was 17 years old. And after working at the deli, I went to a restaurant. I was an assistant manager at a French bakery and restaurant. So I've been in the food industry for a long, long time. it obviously is my passion, and I love to cook. And I want to share my passion with you. And so the YouTube channel is a great way to do that, but I have to also be able to pay my bills. And so if I could get more traction on my YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. And then maybe I could make a little bit of income, which would be great. So that's just a little bit of what's going on. And so shortbread, what do you guys think of shortbread? Have you had it? I mean, I remember having shortbread as a kid, and it was one of my favorite cookies. And my mom's side of the family is English, so it seemed like a very English cookie, a shortbread, right? And traditional shortbread, when I learned how to make it when I was a kid, long, long time ago, butter, sugar, and flour. It's pretty simple. You don't go overboard with the ingredients in a shortbread. It's pretty plain and basic. Now, in case you didn't know, I have this incredible website. It's macrovale.com, and there's a wealth of information there. So for a long time, I wrote every month, food of the month. And there's so much information there. I go into a lot of health benefits about everything you can think of. Miso, sweet potatoes, squash, cabbage, broccoli. Like, I've written an article about it there. And so I think it was 2018, but let's look at it. I wrote a little article about shortbread and the history of shortbread. I'm going to share the screen right now. Food of the Month archives. It was 218. All right. So you can see the Food of the Month, which is right there, shortbread. And that's what my shortbread looks like. We'll be making that here in just a minute. So it began in medieval times as leftover dough from many breads was dried out in a low temperature oven until it hardened. Scotland is usually created with the origination of shortbread, credited, as we have come to know it as a crispy, light, sweet biscuit cookie. Okay, so medieval times, it really wasn't a cookie, but then Scotland trying to change it into that. Now, traditionally, large amounts of butter were used to make shortbread. Yes, I remember as a kid when I first learned it, it was a large amount of butter. When referring to biscuits and pastry, the fat used is called shortening, coming from the short in shortbread. So that's interesting. Even the word shortening comes from shortbread. I learned how to make it with butter, refined sugar, and flour. Then I changed my diet. So I am vegan. I use all organic ingredients, and it's based in macrobiotic principles. I changed the ingredients. I use a Earth Balance buttery spread. I use brown rice syrup and maple syrup. And I use whole grain flours. And so the cookie is, like I said, one of my favorites. And we are going to make it here today. Boy, they changed Restream. Hold on. Stop screen sharing. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Don't you just love when they update things on the computer? I know I do not. Recently, they did an upgrade, and my computer flipped out last night, did some weird things. And now every place that I go to where I could just pull it up, I don't know. They're asking me for my sign-in information. Anyways, I digress, talking about computers. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to make shortbread today. Hey, if you're tuned in, go ahead and leave a comment and say hello. Let me know where you tuned in from. That's the whole reason of going live, is to leave a comment and say hi and let me know where you're tuned in from. And we can chat back and forth. You can ask me questions, any questions whatsoever, even if they don't pertain to the shortbread cookie recipe. That's what I'm here for. Okay. All right. So let's make this shortbread cookie recipe. Now, this recipe is out of my cookbook, Year-Round Healthy Holiday Dishes. This cookbook has not only Thanksgiving and Christmas, it also has Valentine's Day, Easter. I've got all the holidays throughout the years. Now, the shortbread cookie is in the section that's called Holiday Goodies. Okay. So there's a whole section in here just on desserts and things like that, because Christmas time, that's what I like to make. So the shortbread, here's the recipe right here. We're going to follow along. I think I pretty much know it by heart in my head, but here we go. Okay, so we're going to substitute what used to be the butter with a Earth Balance buttery spread. You find it in the refrigerated section. This is what I get. And we're actually going to put it in a food processor first, because I want to make sure the wet ingredients are mixed very, very well, as opposed to mixing it by hand. I'm just going to use this food processor because, there we go. Now, I have tried this recipe using olive oil instead of the Earth Balance, and the recipe comes out okay. It's just, I'm trying to imitate the way that shortbread really tastes. I remember as a kid. And so this just makes it creamier. It makes it just more rich. It just gives it more of that flavor of what you're looking for. Now we are going to use a 1/4 cup of brown rice syrup. So if you've watched any of my videos or attended any of my cooking classes, you know brown rice syrup is my preferred sweetener instead of white refined sugar, which is refined and processed. This is made from whole organic brown rice that's been cooked down to create a thick, sweet syrup. I get Suzanne Specialty Rice Syrup. It's just my favorite. It's top of the line, best quality. This is what I use all the time. They also have like Lundberg brown rice syrup, which is fine. It just, I get this one because it's the one I've been using for like 30 years. So we're going to use a 1/4 cup of brown rice syrup, and I'm going to put it in the measuring cup like so. And we're going to use a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. So my second favorite choice is maple syrup, because they've been eating maple syrup for a long time. They just take the sap from the maple tree and they boil it down. They don't, use any chemical extraction. They don't add anything to it. That's all it is. It does have some vitamins and minerals, iron and phosphorus in it. And any natural sweetener that has some nutritional value is going to be better for you than empty calories, such as white refined sugar. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, like so. Okay. And we're also, the liquid portion of it, you need 3 tablespoons of water. I'm going to put all the liquid ingredients, like I said, in the food processor, just to make sure that they're, we also need 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I'll be putting that in there too. Don't want to forget all the liquid ingredients going in there. All right. And like I said, if you don't have a food processor, can you do this with a spoon? Yes, you could even get a whisk, put it in a bowl and do it with a whisk. That would probably be good enough. I just like to make sure that it's all well incorporated. So I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I always get pure organic vanilla with no alcohol. No alcohol. Why do I do that? The alcohol is a preservative so that it preserves it. But the pure vanilla that doesn't have any alcohol in it is going to be a stronger taste. It's going to be more 100% vanilla. There's no alcohol in it. And that's my reason is it's a stronger taste. It's a more pure taste. Is it more expensive? Yes, it is. But better taste. All right. We're just going to puree this up. You ready? Okay, that's it. All right. Now we're going to make the shortbread gluten-free. So I'm going to use an organic oat flour. Oat flour is my favorite gluten-free flour, made from, oats that are ground up into flour. It has a nice moisture content. I don't like those gluten-free flour combos that you can buy because they have simple carbohydrate flour in there that I really just don't like. So I use the oat flour. Now, another one of my favorite flours is organic spelt flour. And if you weren't concerned about gluten, I would recommend organic spelt flour for this recipe, which is great. We want 3.5 cups of oat flour. So here's my cooking tip for you. I always put my measuring cup in a bowl. You could also do it in a plate or something, but that way when you're pouring the flour into the measuring cup, if it overflows, you're going to catch it in the bowl and you'll be able to use it. All right. So here's my oat flour. Now, when it comes to measuring flour, you want the flour to be light and fluffy. Never ever pat it down. Never ever do this. No, 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 no. That makes it heavy and condensed, and then you don't get it accurate. So I just put the cup, the measuring cup, over like so, and I just pour the flour in there like so. So there's 1 cup. Let me get my bowl. Okay. 1 cup. We're going to go for another cup. 2. And we want 3.5 cups. 3.5 cups. Okay, go for 1 more cup. Whoops, see? Now that time I was going a little fast, so I overspilled, but that's okay. And then get our 1/2 cup in there. All right, 1/2 cup. 3.5 cups. Boop, 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 boop. Now this, see this right here? I saved that in the bowl, so now I can put it back in the bag because we want to keep that. Whoops, I spilt on the counter, but oh well. Now, one more thing we need to add to this is a pinch of sea salt. Whenever you make a dessert, you put a pinch of sea salt in there. Helps balance out the yin and the yang energy, but a little pinch of sea salt brings out the flavor and makes them more flavorful, your end product anyways. I'm going to take a spoon. I'll just lightly mix in that sea salt, and I'm going to put the wet into the dry. Wet into the dry. Okay. Put the wet into the dry. You want to pour it all in there all at once. Don't do it in batches. You want to pour it all in there all at once, like so. Make sure you get a spatula and you scrape everything out of there. So you get everything out, like so. Ready? Okay, here we go. So good. All right. Now we're going to mix this together all at once. I remember when I was a kid, at Christmas time, we would always make Christmas cookies with Mom, and we would all shortbread, the ginger cookies with icing, which is one of the videos that's on my YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. The shortbread or the ginger cookies with icing is actually one of my favorites. We would do cutout cookies that we would decorate. That was fun. Chocolate cookies. A lot of my Christmas time favorite cookies, I actually have changed the ingredients, and I have created organic, vegan, whole foods, healthy versions of them. I've done that to a lot of recipes, and that's actually one of my favorite things to do. A lot of those recipes are in the year-round healthy holiday cookbook here. All my Christmas time favorites, right? Okay. So when you get the dough, you want the dough to be firm because you're going to press it into a cookie sheet. Okay, look at that. Ooh, yum. Now I have my cookie sheet all ready to go, and it's oiled and ready to go. But the one thing that I didn't do is I didn't measure it to tell you the size of it. Hold on a minute. All right, let's measure it. It is 13, 9 by 13. You want a 9 by 13 pan. I use cookie sheets. And what you're going to do is you're going to press the dough into here. That's what we're going to do. Ow. I just hit my finger. All right, I'm going to put it in here like so. You know what? The smell of this is just amazing. It reminds me of the smell of my childhood, making the Christmas cookies. That's what it reminds me of. Move some of this stuff aside. Okay, now you're going to use the best kitchen tools you have, and that would be your hands. I just washed them. I know they're ridiculously clean. Now, if you've made this cookie dough correctly, the dough will not stick to your hands. But if it does stick to your hands, you can always get a little bowl and put some water in it, and then dip your hands in it, and then the water will help you prevent it from happening. But you're going to spread it out. It's going to be a thin cookie. That's the way I like it. I had a student many years ago. She didn't do the shortbread like this in a thin layer. She had these cute cast iron molds, and she made this dough, and she made the shortbread, and it was thicker. It was like this thick, and that was absolutely delicious too. I liked it that way too. And it was kind of decorative for Christmas. This is just what I do because I've been doing it for years. Is I press it out like this so that they're thin shortbread cookies. Now a shortbread cookie is hard. I love my shortbread cookie dipped in tea, hot tea. Oh, one of my favorite ways to eat it. So don't be thinking this is going to be a nice, soft oatmeal cookie or something like that. No, shortbread is a hard cookie, but just so you know. All right. So you just kind of work with it. Like I said, if you've created the dough the correct way with the correct ratio, it's not too wet, so it doesn't stick to your hands. So if it sticks to your hands, maybe your dough is too wet. Okay. Just so you know. But you want to evenly distribute it in the pan like so. So it looks pretty. All right, let me just wash my hands here. All right, now get yourself a fork, and we're going to poke holes into the dough. And that helps when it bakes so it doesn't puff up and crack. So you don't have to do anything special. I just take a fork and just like go down and make a roll, just like that. That's all you have to do. Now, the best shortbread that I have found, and this is the traditional way that they made shortbread a long time ago. Whenever I do a recipe that has a history, I also look up the history of it, and I try and make it authentic as possible. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this in the refrigerator now. You're going to put this whole pan in the refrigerator now and get it cold. So you're going to want to put it in the fridge for like 20, 30 minutes. You could put it in the fridge overnight if you wanted to, but you want it to be cold. Why do you want it to be cold? Because then when you put it in the oven and it's cold, it starts the cooking process slowly. And so your end product is like crispier on the outside, but like softer on the inside. So I said the shortbread is like a crispy cookie. It is, but the middle of it is a little softer than the outside. And by putting it in the fridge, that's what happens. So the process of making the shortbread is we put this in the fridge until it becomes cold. And then we set the oven at 375 degrees. We put this in the oven for 5 minutes at 375. Then you reduce the heat to 300 degrees and it bakes for 15 minutes. Again, this is the traditional way that they made shortbread. This is how I made it when I learned how to make it as a kid. Starting the temperature at 375 for 5 minutes, again, starts the cooking process and gets the outside like harder and the inside softer. And then you set it down to 300 degrees for 15 minutes and you've got like the perfect shortbread. Okay. So obviously there's not enough time in my video here for that to happen. So what did I do? I made a batch of shortbread earlier today. Okay. So we'll just switch this out now. And I'll show you. Now, of course, the batch that I made earlier, I couldn't make a batch of shortbread without eating some of it. So there are a couple pieces missing. But this is what it looks like when it's done. I like to cut mine in triangle pieces. Okay. Another instruction when making the shortbread, after it's baked for the 5 minutes at 375 and 15 minutes at 300 degrees, you take it out of the oven. And while it's still hot, very important, you have to cut it while it's still hot, because if you wait until it cools, it will crack. So while this is still hot, I took the knife and I cut it. Now, again, I like triangle pieces. You could cut it in any size piece that you want whatsoever. If you want squares, or like I said, one of my students pressed it into a cast iron Christmas molds, and it was really cute. She made like cookies that were in molds. So I'll just pluck out some of these pieces here. And so yeah, it's like a, it's shortbread. It's like a biscuit. Again, my favorite way to eat this is in a cup of tea, right? Dipped in a cup of tea. I love that. I'm trying to arrange this on the plate so it kind of looks pretty. I've got like 6 pieces. There you go. There is the shortbread cookies. One of my favorite Christmas cookies. Really, I hope you get a chance to make this. It's not a hard recipe either. It's very easy. Just a few ingredients. So yeah, if you just joined the live feed, please go ahead and say hello. Let me know where you're tuned in from. I always like to say, where everybody's tuned in from. And if you're watching this video on replay, go ahead and leave a comment and say, ask me a question or whatever, because I greatly appreciate hearing from you. And in case you don't know, we are living in a world of algorithms. And when I do a post on my YouTube channel or Facebook or whatever, I need some interaction. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to leave a comment, because we're in a popularity contest. And the only way that other people are going to see this is if you interact with the video, which I greatly appreciate. I watch other live videos. In fact, I really like when someone goes live because it's in real time. And when somebody goes live, I always leave a comment. Just even if it's just hello or whatever, I know that person who's going live has gone through time and effort to set it up. And because of their time and effort, not only do I usually leave at least one comment, I'll leave a few comments. Because again, you're helping the person who's creating the video. And it's really, really helps the algorithms. So SEWTIR So Richards, 1956. Good evening from New York. NCT, is that Connecticut? Thank you so much for saying good evening to me. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, so as I said at the beginning of the video, I have a Christmas challenge going right now. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. In order to make any type of monetary income from your YouTube channel, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers. So I'm trying to push in the month of December to get 1,000 subscribers. I did this live where I made my shortbread cookies, and I'm trying to upload all kinds of new videos to my channel in this whole month. So guess what I did? I made a video making my famous caramel corn. Yes, I have been making caramel corn since I was in 4th grade. I remember I learned how to make caramel corn in school in home ec class. Yes, they had home ec classes back way in the day. I learned how to make caramel corn, and it is the best caramel corn. Of course, back then it was made with butter and corn syrup and brown sugar. So when I went all healthy, organic, vegan, I had to change the ingredients. But my family, who loves my caramel corn, every year I make caramel corn for Christmas and I give it away as gifts. And again, this was 30 years ago when I was new to this, when I was changing all my recipes, I was making them healthy. My family said, "Oh, Val, you can't change a caramel corn recipe. You can't mess with it. It's the best caramel corn ever. You can't." So what did I do? I went ahead and I changed the ingredients. I made the caramel corn for Christmas and I gave it to everybody as their gifts. And they were eating the caramel corn and they were like, "Val, this is the best caramel corn ever. You can never, ever change the ingredients." And I said to them, "Well, guess what? I already did." Yes, here's my caramel corn. All right, so if you have not watched that video yet, make sure that you go to the Chef Valerie Wilson YouTube channel. Maybe you're watching this on YouTube. Maybe you're watching this on Facebook. I don't know. But the video on how to make the caramel corn. I also feature the caramel corn recipe in my year-round healthy holiday dishes cookbook and in Simply Healthy Scrumptious Desserts. I've got caramel corn also. So the recipe is so fantastic. I had to put it in 2 of my cookbooks, right? Also on my YouTube channel, I just put out a new video called Thanksgiving Leftover Pizza. So I know that I had leftover Thanksgiving food. I had a lot of it. So many years ago, I created what I call a pizza. There's no cheese in it, just so you know. I just called it pizza because it was fun. Okay, so it's like a layer of stuffing, a layer of my millet mashed potatoes, and then there's some tofu turkey, and you kind of cook it and bake it so it's like thin. It's not a pie, it's like a thin, so that's why I call it pizza. That video is up on my YouTube channel too. My name is So plus Truition, like in nutrition. So-trition. The RDN are my credentials. Oh, thank you so much for clarifying that. Yeah. So-trition. So nutrition. So nutrition. Okay, so I have to ask, because you use sew, S-E-W, as opposed to S-O, do you sew? Just because I was interested, because I love to sew, although it's been years, but a long time ago, my mom taught me how to sew. And in my 20s, I would make whole outfits. You know, some of them I would get the pattern and I would make them, but I'd always change them. And then after a while, I figured out what I wanted to make and the clothes I wanted to wear. It was easier for me to just create my own pattern. So I made quite a few outfits that I just took the material and I just figured it out. But I love doing that. But God, I'm so busy. I hate to say that because you create everything with your words. And if I say I'm so busy, I'm going to be busy. But in my 20s, it seemed like I had more time. And I made bathing suits. That was one of my favorite things, was bathing suits. I made skirts and dresses and pants. I used to sew a lot. So I'm just wondering if, you called yourself So-trition, S-E-W, because you sew also, which is a very creative, crafty way. Yes, since a little girl. FIT was my first alma mater. Oh, cool. Yeah, so you've been sewing for a long time too, just like me. Yeah, it's kind of a lost art, but it's fantastic. But what's so great, because I learned a long time ago, a lot of times if I get clothes that don't fit me, and I am 5'1", petite, very small, a lot of times clothes either are way too long, like the pants, I have to hem them. Sometimes shirts are like way too big and I have to like squish them in. I have to make them smaller. And I'm very good with that on the sewing machine. I made cat toys a couple years ago. That was a lot of fun on my sewing machine. I put catnip in them. I've made pillows. So yeah, being able to sew is a lot of fun. That brought a smile to my face. Thank you so much for chatting and saying that. It made me remember how much I love sewing. So that's fantastic. Wonderful. Yeah. So, also on my YouTube channel, what else? My cranberry sauce. I make cranberry sauce from scratch. I just put that video up. So I got all these videos all month of December. And tell all your friends and family members to hit the subscribe button. Okay. I have to tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if your friends and family member are not going to watch all my videos, if they hit the subscribe button, it counts as a subscriber on my channel. And I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. Just so you know. Hey, so we talked about cooking, which is my passion. I mentioned sewing because Sew Nutrition left a chat for me. Another passion I have is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. If you have watched any of my videos or tuned in to any of my cooking classes, I don't think I could get through a video or a cooking class without mentioning the Upper Peninsula of Michigan because I love it. Now, I live in the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. A lot of people ask me because I just go on and on about the Upper Peninsula. But here's my necklace. Oh, here's my necklace, my pink Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So every year I create a calendar with pictures and poems that I have written about the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Because even though I don't live there, I go up there whenever I can. You know, whenever I have a long weekend, I always take my week-long vacation up there. I just love it. If you haven't been up there, it's just miles and miles and miles of wilderness. There's a lot less people up there. And in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we have waterfalls, hiking trails that are really, really long. There are even mountains in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And you have miles and miles of shoreline along the Great Lakes. You have Lake Michigan down on the south. You have Lake Huron over on the east side. But of course, my favorite is Lake Superior, which is up on the north part of it. So I have go up there all the time. And so this is the 7th year I have created Love of the Upper Peninsula calendar. All right, so I just got it. Replying to Valerie Macroval, hello. Oh, hi. Hello, Max. Thank you so much for your comment. Greatly appreciate it. Max is my boyfriend, and he helped me get my Christmas tree yesterday. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that we got the Christmas tree yesterday. I haven't decorated it yet, but put it up. All right, so the Upper Peninsula calendar that I create every year has beautiful pictures in it. There's the Mackinac Bridge, and I write a 4-line poem that goes with it. Here's a beautiful picture of Lake Superior. Okay, here's Tequamana Falls. Tequamana Falls is one of the best places to go to if you go to the UP, definitely. And this is the Sturgeon River Gorge in Baraga. That was my first time going there this last year in August. Oh my God, it's just breathtakingly beautiful. And it's out in the middle of the woods, middle of nowhere. And so if you're interested in the calendar, I sell them on my website. Here is the Portage Bridge in between Houghton and Hancock. Another beautiful, beautiful picture. And this is one of my favorite parks called Esri Park in the UP. A sunset at Esri Park. Love that one. And here's what they call the ice curtain, or what they call ice caves in Munising. All right. So what you want to do is you want to go to macroval.com, right there, see? And I'll show you. Here we go. This is my website. Now you can see it. See, here's the Upper Peninsula calendar right here. If you would like to purchase it, you just click here and then you add it to cart right there. There's the calendar. This is my YouTube challenge to get 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. If you click on that, it'll take you right to my YouTube channel. If you want to attend a cooking class, there's cooking classes right there. I have one more cooking class before the end of the year, and it's fun with phyllo dough. I'm going to teach how to make a phyllo dough pizza and a phyllo dough pear dessert. We're going to poach the pear. We're going to wrap the pear in phyllo dough and bake it in the oven. All of my taste testers who have tasted it so far think it is absolutely delicious. Okay. So this is the last class for 2025. Phyllo dough is so much fun. It's just a fun class. We're going to have so much fun. And then I'll be putting new classes for 2026. I always have classes every single month. This is a picture from one of my outdoor grilling classes. Those are really fun in the summertime. So make sure that you check out the cooking classes. And then if you want to check out my cookbooks, here is the cookbook page. I am the author of 7 cookbooks, and one of them is an e-cookbook. So technically 8 cookbooks. One of them is e. So you can check out my cookbooks there. All right. If you are interested in one-on-one lifestyle counseling, I also work with people using food to help heal them. I use directly with food. We sit down, we have a consultation, and there's information on this page about my consultations. Lots of different ways that we can work together. I'm going to stop screen sharing. All right, so that is the shortbread recipe. And I've told you about the calendar, my upcoming class in December, last class of 2025. Looking forward to that. Just checking to see if there's any more comments. Okay, just checking to see if there's any more comments. Last but not least, before we go, I will give you an update on the ostriches in British Columbia, Canada. Because if you've watched my other lives, especially for the last couple months, during every live, I've talked about the ostriches. And so I won't go into great detail. Go and watch my other videos. But the Universal Ostrich Farm had these beautiful ostriches. They were totally healthy. They were not sick. And the Canadian government, for 11 months, they were struggling with this. And for 11 months, I was following the Universal Ostrich Farm, all their live feeds on Facebook. I got to know the ostriches. They were just absolutely beautiful. Well, on November 6th and November 7th, they were killed. They were slaughtered in the most horrific way possible. Totally healthy ostriches, about 320 of them. Now, I highly advise that you go to the Universal Ostrich Farm website. It's called saveourostriches.com. It tells you the whole story and gives you the whole update. But the wonderful people that own the Universal Ostrich Farm, Karen, her partner Dave, and Karen's daughter Katie, lost everything. They lost they lost their business. Karen, the owner of the farm, has been taking care of these ostriches for 30 years. Some of these ostriches were 30 years old. They got slaughtered in the most horrific way possible. And so I just want to continue to send love and prayers to Ostrich Farm. I still continue to support them. I have written 9 blogs about the Universal Ostrich Farm. Another thing you could do is you could go to my blog, which is Substack, Valerie Wilson. And there's a link on my website too that will take you to my blog. You can read all 9 of my blogs to find out more information about the Universal Ostrich Farm, and do whatever you can to help the people at the Universal Ostrich Farm, because it's just devastating. They've lost everything. Their business for 30 years, it's all gone. It's gone. Now, I know there's a lot of things happening in our world that are upsetting, and all people who are going through terrible things need prayer and love at this time. For the last 11 months, I've been following the Universal Ostrich Farm, and it's very near and dear to my heart. And so again, that's saveourostriches.com. There's actually a link. If you're watching this on Facebook, there is a link in the description of this video and on YouTube. Look at the description of this video. I actually have the website, saveourostriches.com. So just send them love and prayers. And if you are financially able to, they are looking for donations. All right. So just want to give you a little update there. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video and thank everybody for watching the video. Again, if you're watching a replay of this video, leave a comment and I will respond to the comment. Ask me a question, whatever. Let's make sure to stay connected and tell everybody that you know to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just hit the subscription button because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. And right now I'm at 670 subscribers, so I have a little ways to go, but not much. And for all of you that are already subscribed to the YouTube channel, keep an eye out because I've got new videos I'm going to be uploading all the time. I'm going to try and make December like very, very busy on my YouTube channel with lots of videos with all of my delicious, healthy, wonderful recipes. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time. And for now,